Have you ever wanted to use video games at school for students to study to break up the format of English texts, but never felt you had the support or knowledge to do so? Well, I think I may have found a solid way of making that process much easier. Using Google Forms, I posed some questions to new teachers in various fields of secondary education. One of the questions I asked was, how do you think your teaching colleagues would respond to the idea of adding video games to school curriculum? The responses were remarkably similar, regardless of their own experiences with video games, even if they were positive, negative, or indifferent. One of the participants answered, "Most colleagues at my school would react negatively. It is an old private school and they are very hesitant to change. We have an English text that we've been studying for 30 plus years. Video games would not come in easily." Another answer was, "I believe teachers with several years of teaching experience may be against the idea since video games are often associated with play or relaxing in people's minds. Graduates and teachers new to the profession would be more open to the ideas as they aren't set in their ways and are more likely to embrace new ideas in the classroom." Another example, someone said, "Poorly, due to the issues that would present in the organization of devices and learning of new teaching methods for teachers." This is alongside the fact that if the teachers are not familiar with video games, it could be something which the students abuse without the teacher's knowledge. I'm sure many of you are reading these to yourselves right now and thinking, yeah, my school would never allow me to try this, or I wouldn't know where to even begin. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are ways of getting around this problem. Whilst conducting significant research into factors surrounding video games in English secondary classes, it was apparent that even if all the students were excited to use something different, like The Last of Us as a text study, if the teacher did not know how to approach the task, then they wouldn't be bothered stretching themselves into a completely new form of literacy. There are some models that exist that attempt to structure the study of video games, and they are reinforced by the literature. However, they don't necessarily illuminate a practical approach to games that could take hours to complete, for example, a requirement that is admittedly difficult to put into practice. So here I present some strategies to make the study of video games much more practical and relevant to English classes. Number 1, video essays. If you find a detailed video essay on a very long video game, then you can save hours of unnecessary playtime that would normally eat into student participation and text responses. This example of a video essay of the game Soma is an excellent resource to deconstruct dozens of hours of gameplay. Number 2, collaborative games. Interacting with students collaboratively is another very pedagogically supportive strategy that integrates different genres that work well in groups or teams. The game Device 6 is one example of an interactive novel puzzle game. Just put some students into teams and have them work through each level throughout the week, leaving a lot of time to analyze the experience overall. Number 3, quick games and creative tasks. If students have small-scale games to use as a reference, then elaborating on literary devices becomes easier. Then have them conceptualize their own game of a similar scale. Captain Forever is a free browser game that is incredibly simple but fun and immersive, with little story revealed through writing, offering a wealth of creative insinuations. Number 4, comparative freedom. For more advanced students who require comparative literature, give students the opportunity to use their own experiences to fuel meaningful connections to different forms of English texts. For example, comparing Anna Funder's Stasi-Land to the dystopian political thriller Bioshock only takes a few quotes to discover bold similarities. These 4 examples of teaching strategies are of course only ideas, and further testing is needed to ultimately determine their relevance or success, but they will get you to think of games in a much more manageable way.